All right, there we go. So, we're going to be doing a full recap of the market today. Today was September 11th, 2025. Today was Thursday. Yeah, I didn't trade today, guys. I know. Not optimal, but I'm trying my best. I literally just don't get enough sleep. I couldn't get up. And we're going to review the market today anyway. Let's do this. So, opening up Forex Factory. Let's see what news we had today. That's the first thing we should do. We had CPI. This was a high probability data trade. I probably should have traded today, but it's okay. One day at a time, guys. Let's keep moving forward. So, let's get rid of that. So, CPI, we had CPI. Huge CPI spike. This is crazy. Look at that. What in the world happened on CPI? Looks like if you measure this whole range out, looks like essentially everyone down to here got liquidated. We probably had session lows below. That's probably what it was. Yeah, look at that. CPI went to go target London and Asia lows. That's just crazy. And I wonder where was midnight? Where was midnight? So there's London. And then here's Asia. Crazy. Crazy how CPI drove us down to those session lows here. Then we found we rebalanced to this gap. I mean, dang, look at this wick. What the heck? Look at the way we just destroyed all of these lows here within one 5-second candle. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. I wonder if there was a reason it did that. Obviously, we don't always. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to reverse engineer exactly why, but a lot of the time you can. You can reverse engineer why did we dump so aggressively right here? Maybe there was a key level or an SMT or something, right? New day opening gap. New week opening gap. Either way, though, it's still crazy, right? So CPI brought us down to London and Asia lows. Man, everyone got stopped out there. That was ruthless. Then we start to move back up within 5 seconds. So maybe there's a reason, right? Should we try and figure it out? We're 7:30. All right. Hey, what up, Kirk? GM, even though it's not morning for me, but good morning. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. The way that we came down, right on CPI, that was just crazy. Once again, guys, I wish I traded this morning. I should have been on the charts. Today was a really great day to trade because it was CPI, but, sometimes I try my best and for some reason, I can't get up, and I don't know what's wrong with me, but we're just going to keep moving forward. So we're here. That's what matters. We're back testing. And guys, I just don't get enough sleep. I'm trying my best, though. So anyway, London Asia got taken out in this crazy wick. Yeah, I feel like this, honestly, we can't, there's no opportunity within this wick, but I'm just going to mark this out. Hey, what up, Sky? Yeah, London Asia just got obliterated in that one wick. Once again, I don't know. I don't know if there was opportunity there. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like that was kind of just very, very violent and not really. CPI was just not like it's CPI is one of the harder ones to. CPI can be very violent. So CPI took out London and Asia lows. I would love to look at gold, but I'm back testing the asset that I actually trade, which is NQ. Maybe we could look at gold on the weekend, this weekend, when I do my weekend back testing. I think that'd be cool. So, okay. Man, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Everyone's out here saying price action's easy, and I'm like, what? Like Haney today was like, Shaney was like, yeah, today was not, or this week's been not too bad, but yeah, I honestly think this has been kind of hard. Okay, let's just move forward in time here because I'm not seeing anything. Maybe we had something at 10 a.m., right? So, yeah, you know, we ended up at 9:40. Wait, this was yesterday. Wait, no, this was today. Yeah, so all through here, I would not be trading. Um, yeah, I don't think there's anything obvious in here. I mean, maybe on the lower time frame. But, well, actually, you know what I'm looking at right now is this is an OB. It's a propulsion block. This is interesting, right? OB, PB, and then propulsion block got hit within discount of this. Okay, that's a thought, right? I'm just gonna mark it out once again. I just like to mark out things that I see. So OB, PB, and then yeah, we expand off of the propulsion block. Let's go to the 5-second or the 15-second. Hey, what up, Simon? How's it going, man? Good to see you. Yeah, let's look at the 5-second. I mean, once again, guys, I'm not saying we take trades like this, but I just want to take note of anything that I see, and this is something that I see, so I'm gonna mark it out. There's no obvious 5-minute chain of state delivery. But anyway, I will mark out that this was a propulsion block, right? OB, PB, and then we expand off of it. I just want to get better at spotting the propulsion blocks, to be honest, because I think there is opportunity there. Right, and when we dig back into it a second time, we explode off of it. Then, right here, this is kind of consolidation. Nothing obvious. Eventually, we come up, and I'm wondering if this was like previous day's high or something. Previous day's high is all the way up here. So, not quite sweeping previous day's high. What about session highs? Oh no, I'm sorry, Simon. That's really not, you know, it's not fun, dude. I'm sorry. But just understand that, you know, trading is probably one of the hardest things in the world, so, you know, just accept that, you know, like I made the video yesterday, right? The video yesterday explains it really, really well. Like, you just gotta be at peace with the process, and accepting that you don't know when everything's gonna fall into place for you. And I think the harder you try and force it, the harder it ends up becoming. So I mean, it's like I was saying in yesterday's video, it's totally valid to say, you know what, trading's just too much, and that's totally valid too. For me though, like I'm gonna keep going on this no matter what because I really enjoy it. But for a lot of other people, I do actually ask them to say like, yo, understand this is one of the hardest things that in the world you could be trying to do right now, and you know it's not for everyone. And so I think that's important for people to realize that then there's a million ways to be successful, right? So we had this range up here, and we end up sweeping the range. So I actually really like this. I don't know if this was a specific high, but it feels like it should have been. Anyway, it's a very obvious consolidation range and a very obvious swing high. So I'll just measure this out like this, right? Dude, I totally love it. Me too, man. And so that's what I mean when I tell people, like, dude, like, if you're in it just for the money and you don't think this stuff is cool, I'm sorry, man. It's just a very, very unrealistic path for you because the reality is it's not. I mean, it's just there's a reason almost no one does it. It's because it's just so stupidly hard. And so I do tell people like, yeah, man, you gotta like maybe you don't have to like it, but you have to be able to at least understand and tolerate it. And I don't know, some people just genuinely don't like it. There's so many other ways they can go. They don't need to be a trader. But yeah, anyway, the key is right. We sweep a high. I don't need to have it be a specific high necessarily, but the key is we sweep a high. So we sweep that high. And I love this 1 minute change in state of delivery, and it might have even been a 30-second 2022 model. So pay attention to what highs get, like pay attention to old highs and lows in the market. Like what TGR does when he just marks out obvious swing highs or obvious old draws in liquidity, that's actually a really valid way to trade because all you're doing is you're just marking out. Let's actually make note of this. The way TGR just marks out old draws on liquidity and waits for them to get swept and then a 2022 model off of them is actually super valid, right? Something to consider. Yeah, dude, it genuinely like that shook me up, man. It's like literally like that straight up is just one of the worst things you could do to someone. I mean, why would you do that, bro? Oh my gosh. Like, I don't care how much you hate someone. Don't shoot them, bro. Don't end their life, especially because you like he has a family, dude, and kids and stuff. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's just we should never kill someone over words, ever, 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 ever. I mean, I get like they might have. I don't know what caused them to do it, but it just that like there's a million other things they could have done, and killing was not the answer. It's just very frustrating. But yeah, dude, I literally like I had bad dreams that night, dude. That was just what. And then the way the media portrayed it was like so much worse too. It was like they're like, oh yeah, it might have just been someone celebrating with their gun. Bro, are you freaking kidding me? Someone was celebrating and they shot him, bro. No, they didn't, bro. That's the stupidest thing. Oh my gosh, it genuinely makes me mad. Like that should not even be something that's even considered to be said. Considered, right? So stupid. TGR draws on liquidity, mark them out and look for low time frame 2020 models and CI. So yeah, we swept out that liquidity, and yeah, guys, I really like this 1 minute change in state. I don't know if there's a 15-minute key level, and honestly, I don't feel like you would necessarily have to have one here because of how beautiful this is, right? But let's just say we did have one, right? This was a 15-minute, 15-minute BPR above this high, or 15, yeah, essentially 15-minute BPR. So we have a 15-minute BPR, sweep of this high, and then, yeah, honestly, because it's a 15-minute Q level, I'm actually curious if there's SMT too. But I wouldn't need the 15-minute BPR. I could honestly just enter on a change in state because I'd have conviction we're going to go at least to this consolidation and equal lows. Right? This is just super obvious. Look at those obvious equal lows. And like, this is what I mean when I say every time everyone's like complaining the market's it's not high probability anymore. It's like, no guys, we just gotta be looking at the right place at the right time. Who's your go-to streamer? Dodgy? I mean, I don't really have anyone that I watch like streaming because I don't know, everyone's just doing paid stuff, and I that's a big reason why I started doing stuff on YouTube for free, is because everyone was doing paid discords, and it was super frustrating. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna start my own thing, and make everything free forever. But if I had to pick one, I like watching Dodgy. I like watching. I'm not gonna lie, I like watching everyone, dude. I love seeing other people's perspectives on the market because I always learn something from it. I wouldn't say I have one go-to person. Is Jake Trades It guy? Thank you, Kirk. You're so nice. But yeah, that's kind of why I ended up starting making my own streams, is because I did not like how everything was paid. I feel like there's no good source of free education on the internet for this stuff besides maybe like T-Trades and like that, but T-Trades doesn't do streams and stuff, and I don't know, it just feels like it was a missing niche. I'm trying to do the goal is two streams a day, but because I'm not just always gonna do a backtesting stream, but I'm definitely always trying to do a live trading stream every single day. And then a lot of time I usually end up doing a backtesting stream, but yeah, so I stream a lot, right? But I enjoy it. That's why. So okay. So 1 minute change state delivery off a 15-minute BPR. I think this was clean, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I think this was really clean. I'm curious if there was SMT. Yeah, there was an SMT with this high. Was it sequential SMT? Yeah, look at this. 9:30. Wait, 9. Wait. Right now, I'm doing some evaluations with Top Step, Apex, just not a ton, but I want to be diversified. And honestly, I might not do the finish evaluations with Apex because I don't know, I don't trust Apex at all. But and then I'm trading a super small personal account, but I have a really strict budget now on how many evals I can buy per month. So I'm trying to be smart about how I spend my money because I really don't. I want to be conservative now, but I think diversifying with a whole bunch of different accounts is kind of nice. And I don't know. I'm still deciding if I'm gonna let the evals for Apex get recharged. I'm still deciding because one, like they're like really cheap, but two, I don't trust them anymore. Yeah, there's definitely S&T with this high. But oh my gosh, look what. Oh wait, oh I was looking at YM. Oh shoot, I should have been looking at ES. Um. What the heck? It left equal highs on the S&P. Okay, there is SMT, but I don't think it's sequential. I think it's just regular. I'm not going to use SMT as a confluence here. It's just not obvious. If it's not obvious, I'm not going to use it. Right? But there's a 1 minute change in state to the equal lows. I think equal lows is just super obvious here. And honestly, I would take profit at the bodies, because why not? So that's clean. Right? 1 minute change in state. And at the end of the Hydra macro. 920, 94. I guess, yeah, it's very end. Dude, is it me or is YM so much more smooth to trade? Low key, maybe. it might be. I don't ever look at it, to be honest, but it could be. It could be. But I loved this trade. I'm not gonna lie. And I observed this. But once again, we sweep out high time frame liquidity into a gap. So I'm gonna actually mark out. This is like high time frame. Maybe it's like a 4-hour sweep. Yeah. 4-hour liquidity, and then 1 minute change in state. Okay. So first, this one way to enter it is just on the close. Too soon after the open. Yeah, that's valid. That's valid. But I'm gonna mark it out anyway because I just like marking things out that I see. I think it's always valid. So 936. You could take this as just a CISD or a flow state. So 936 flow state close, and I'm gonna start marking out trades that are like when it's just a CISD. I'm gonna mark it out as a CISD Jan entry if it's ever an entry below the CISD, because I've been seeing Hyper do that, and I think that's pretty cool. It's like, you know, the model's not invalidated. So 936 flow state close, 15 minute, 1 minute. And yeah, you could also take this as a flow state retest. Probably go stop loss there. Oh, that's so nice, dude. I wonder if we go to the standard deviations. Yeah, we do. That's really, really clean. Oh, and I wonder if there was a stat map confluence as well. Oh, look at our time levels. This is very relevant, right? We're above 8:30. We're below 7:30. We're above midnight. So see how we're above all those time levels? That's important. That's important. So there's fourth standard deviation. So equal lows. So we'll just mark this out as the same thing from before, but this is a flow state retest. And then down to the fourth standard deviation, max extension. That's pretty cool, guys. I can't lie. Now, am I saying I would have caught it? I don't know. Sometimes I'm stupid and I miss trades like this, but I think it's really nice. Had I, you know, been able to catch it. So 4-hour sweep, 1 minute change of state. So once again, 9:36, flow state, retest, 15 minute, 1 minute, number 2. Okay, let's move on. Then we end up, I mean, price action was not bad after market open here, which is kind of nice. I actually really like that price action wasn't too terrible here. That makes me happy, but unfortunately I was not awake, which is not ideal, but whatever. So what's cool, guys, once again, this gap, it has x-ray vision. And I know, like, I sometimes forget to mark this out, but when we wick through it, notice how we don't inverse it at all. We actually hold it, right? So this gap essentially is x-ray vision and is still applied to the future. So this 15-minute gap. And notice how the body is respected both times. That's kind of cool. So 15-minute for value gap. And then essentially off of this gap, even though it looks like, oh wow, it's not respecting it. No, it is. Market just wicked through it, but it was holding it this whole time. Bodies tell the story, the wicks do the damage. We sweep out this low into the gap, and I'm so curious if we had SMT at that low. Probably had it at least on one of the assets, right? At least on one of the assets. Oh yeah, that is a clean SMT, and you know what else? That's a 90-minute SMT. That is a very clear, obvious 90-minute SMT because it's with, here's 9, so it's with a, oh, but it's not with the low of the quarter. Yeah, it's a partial 90-minute SMT, but still. So 15-minute for value gap, liquidity sweep. Look at that displacement, guys. That's nice. Can't lie, that is nice. Now, am I saying that? I don't know. Sometimes it's not necessarily going to mean anything, you know. But 1 minute change in state. This time it did. But I don't know. It just there wasn't super obvious draw on liquidity. I think the only real draw on liquidity was this high. So I guess you got to take it back to this high. I think that's just the only logical place, because past that, I don't know. I think that's still a gap. Yeah, this is still a gap. So the only logical place to take profit after this change in state is this high. So realistically, guys, I think you just got to take profit at this high. I think that's the only logical place to take profit. And you probably even want to take profit at the bodies, because once again, I take profit at bodies, not wicks. That's the only logical place. So we get accumulation here, this whole range, accumulation, and there might have even been CRT. Something we should look at later. Then we get manipulation of this low with SMT into a 15-minute gap. And then 1 minute change in state. You can enter on the retest or the close. I probably enter on the close because look at that close, dude. Actually, maybe enter on the retest. So this one's kind of, since I probably wouldn't do stop loss all the way at the low because of displacement. So this is more like a flow state mini, meaning we retest it, but I'm not gonna put stop loss all the way at the low. That's clean. Yeah, this is probably how I would take this. Flow state mini, stop loss, not all the way at the low because of displacement. Yeah, I think it's pretty good, right? And then we just target this high as our TP. Once again, if we could just only take trades like this, you know how solid our trading would be. But the issue is it's not always that simple. Sometimes you do make mistakes. Sometimes you do stupid things. And I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't. I wish I was a superhuman. But I'm not. So, once again, this is when you just have to trade the probabilities, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But you just got to trade the probabilities, and except you're not going to win every trade, right? So I'd call this, once again, since it's not stop loss all the way at the low. Actually, no, I'm just gonna call it a regular flow state retest. I'm not gonna call it mini. I'm just gonna. I feel like too many names is just making things too confusing. Jake, notice how that Civi was immediately repriced, then its low was swept, and then it was invalidated, making an IFG. That is an interesting signature in price. Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna look at that. Should I call this flow state mini or flow state retest? Nah, I think it's more of a flow state retest. Because flow state mini is just when I you know, do a partial stop loss because I think it's not going to go all the way to low because of displacement, but I don't know. It's the same thing. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, let's take a look at what you just said because I'm actually super interested in it. And also, when this occurred is important. Let's actually, oh, that's important. Let's actually mark this out as the macro, right? Like, guys, we got to pay attention to this macro. The 950 to 1010 macro is going to be a beast. Every single day, it's going to be a beast. If we can just wait for the 950 to 1010 macro, we're going to slay. Like, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be, every day is just going to be like, we're going to kill it. But it's not always easy to do. So I'll look at what you just said. Hang on. So same thing as before, but now I'm going to mark it out as with the macro. Number 2. Okay, notice how the Civi was immediately repriced, then its low was swept, and then it was invalidated, making an IFG. I'm assuming you're talking about this Civi. Was immediately repriced. Wait. What time Civi? This one? So this It was immediately rejected. Yeah. Ooh, I see what you're saying now. We don't touch the civvy, but I assume you're meaning like this, right? Just kind of marking it out as a whole, right? We don't hit this one, but I assume you're talking about this as a whole. Oh, this one down, all the way down here. Oh. Then its low was swept, invalidated, making an IPG. That is... This was a soup, 100%. Now, does that mean I know how to soup? No. What would be interesting is if we had, like... I don't know. I think precision swing points, if I can just learn them a little better, I think they're very, very useful, but I struggle to identify them sometimes. Yeah, it's not always easy. If it's not obvious, I don't even consider marking it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Once again, you can take this on the close. I still put stop loss there. Your RR is just not that great, but you know, you could. So we'll just mark this out as flow state close as well. So I'd probably take the retest. Yeah, it's super interesting. And then I would also say this is probably a 2022 model because right, this is a very obvious break of structure, like liquidity sweep, break of structure, and then a fair value gap here. Yeah, look at this on the 30-second. This is a very obvious 30-second 2022 model. So because it's a 2022 model here, this is very obvious on the 30-second, right? This actually might be the trade of the day because you could have a way higher RR on this one, right? 15-minute fair value gap. This is an inversion fair value gap here. It's just crazy the opportunity that exists every day, but it's like obviously it's not easy to catch, and that's why we just got to keep showing up every single day until we do. But look at what I was saying, right? We get the initial entry 947, then at 950 we get a second entry. And when does that entry occur? Right as the 950 macro is starting, like perfectly. Coincidence? No. This is not a coincidence. This entry occurs almost instantly after 950. That is not a coincidence. That is not a coincidence. And wait, where was the first presented for value gap? What you're describing is what they mean by time meets price. Yeah, dude, genuinely just insane. And then we hit our draw on liquidity. This is when the macro ends when the draw on liquidity is hit, guys. Let's be real. Like the macro, by the time the draw on liquidity is hit, the macro is over. That was the objective. We don't care anymore. It's the same reason that, you know, when the weekly range hits its draw on liquidity, it's going to retrace on Friday, right? The same reason. The 950 macro, the 950 to 1010 macro is really ending at the draw on liquidity, which was the opening range high. The opening range high. Anyway. You could take this one. I think this one is super clean. But we'll just say that let's just pretend that we took the first one, right? Because that looks clean. I don't know why you wouldn't. And then I'd probably put stop loss at the low of the momentum candle. Then once again, liquidity sweep, break of structure. Liquidity sweep, break of structure. That's clean. I can't even lie, guys. That is clean. That is clean on the 30-second, right? Liquidity sweep, inverse value gap. And once again, with the 2022 model, I'd definitely consider putting stop loss right here because this fair value gap should hold price. And yeah, probably target this rejection block here. Bang. That's 3-1 right there, guys. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's a very simple trade. It's a very simple trade. And obviously you can scale out too. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and screenshot this. Very, very clean, guys. So 2022 model on the 1 minute, 947 was a sniper entry. No, 30-second. And then I'm going to also mark out the other entry, which was even more sniper, which is essentially just a 2022 inducement. And guys, like, when I see that, sometimes, like, honestly, like, you can have your stop loss even more aggressive because this is just, you're basically saying if it's an inducement, it should be an instantaneous inducement. If not, then I just want to have my stop loss super tight. So I'm going to actually mark it out like this. Like, when you're anticipating inducement, honestly, like, there's really no reason to have a stop loss bigger than you need. Now, I guess that's up to your own personal back testing, but that's just what I see, right? If I see an inducement, if I'm expecting a fast inducement, I'm not really expecting it to go much further lower. So I'm going to screenshot this again and just mark this out as like once again, a 2022 inducement type of trade. So 950, 2022 inducement, 30-second. So I'm calling it 2022 inducement because you don't even take the first entry. You wait for an inducement and then take it. Bang, 30-second. Save. Okay, I'm gonna go use the bathroom, guys. I'll be right back, but good backtesting session so far. Price action was actually pretty decent today. I just gotta make sure I show up, you know? I gotta make sure but it's hard because I try, but I genuinely, I'm working all the time. I don't get sleep. But one day at a time, we'll keep going. And once again, guys, I really don't think these, obviously I wouldn't take it like that. I'd probably take it like this. But I really don't think these 3-yard trades are really a bad thing because you only have to hit them 1/3 of the time, you know? And I personally think that that's reasonable as long as I'm keeping quality. But it's just going to take time and practice. So, especially because real life trading, much harder than, trading. We're watching the market in back testing, So, let's go for watching. Okay, guys, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be back. All right, let's do this. Let's keep going. So, yeah, this was clean, guys. Now, is it always that easy to take trades like that? No, but still like to observe it. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Rid of that. I mean, maybe you could have taken that as an IVG. I can't really remember. We closed a little high for an inverse value gap. And then yeah, we reused that old 15-minute gap up here. Wait. Yeah, the same 15-minute BPR from before gets reused here. And then we get another notice this 1 minute change of state is just not nearly as obvious as this one. You can't get good RR on it. So that's a big reason why that fails, because it's just not, the RR doesn't make sense, and it's just not, you know, something smart money's gonna take. But we do have that 15-minute gap. And then this is very obvious, not necessarily obvious, but this is very simple, right? Sweep, and then inversion for value gap, 2 candles as 1. This is very simple, right? This is very simple. Now, maybe it's not for everyone, right? But I think this, you know, if I could enter all my accounts in time, which I don't know if I could. Realistically, I probably couldn't, but I'm still gonna mark it out. So anytime it's 2 candles is 1, or more than 2 candles is 1, I call it an implied inverse value gap, 15-minute BPR. So yeah, because I'm basically taking 2 candles as 1, it's, for me it's an implied inverse value gap. And then we look at that, we retest it there. So I actually like this as a Jan entry a lot. No, I wish I could be this precise in real life. It's never this easy. It's never this easy. And then down to those lows. Wow. Imagine that. Because, yeah, realistically, I might not catch that inverse value gap, but I could, within 30 seconds, I could put a limit order on there on all my accounts. So even though I can't catch this in a moment, I can put a limit order across my accounts, and that's probably what I would do. So Jan entry. But the issue is, if I can't do it across all my accounts, I shouldn't take the trade. That's the main issue. So still, right? Very precise. Now, once again, it's scary to take trades like that, but was there SMT there? Oh my gosh, what was YM doing? That's crazy. Oh, I might just call them IPGs. Implied inverse value gap. I love making my own concepts. Wait, I'm now realizing that's not gonna work. Because if I want to call a regular fair value gap an implied fair value gap, it's gonna be IPG. Oh my gosh. It's not gonna work. I don't know if that made sense. I'll just call it implied fair value gap for now, because I don't know. So this is a 10-10, 30 IPG dash J on the 32nd. Okay. And then I think Hyper took this, where we ended up, we might have had a 15-minute key level here. We ended up having a I guess it's not obvious. What about 5-minute? I don't think that's obvious either. Let's actually look at the first presented for value gap now. First presented for value gap was right here. Wow, this is a really nice one. Wow, it's not actually interacted with. That's interesting. I guess when we backtest it here, I guess, yeah, actually. Now look at how the bodies respected. Inversed and backtested to our drawn liquidity. Okay, yeah, look at this. This is our drawn liquidity. This is cool, right? So here's our drawn liquidity, right? This is what's being targeted. And then first presented for value gap gets inversed. Once again, guys, based off the drawn liquidity, you have to determine is the market going to respect it, or is it going to inverse it? It's never, and people in the comments of my videos are like, well, that's useless if you don't know. No, it's useful. It's completely useful because you have to know the drawn liquidity, right? It's super useful actually. First presented for value gap gets inversed. We back test it, and then we go higher to our draw. So, right, let's go to the 5-second, maybe the 15-second. Just depends which one's more obvious. I love the first strike model, dude. It's so clean. Oh my gosh. Like, look at this, guys. Look, this is our drawn liquidity, right? This is our drawn liquidity. Accumulation. We might have even had a SMT. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Wait. Rejection block? Could you imagine if there's SMT with the rejection block? Oh man, that would have been so cool. But there was SMT with this low. Oh, there was SMT with this low. Wow. Okay, SMT with this low. Once again, guys, it's not always easy to take trades like this, but one day at a time, guys. We got our whole lives to get better at trading. Accumulation, right? First presented for value gap. And so, honestly here, maybe I'd look for a 15-second one. Let's see, which one's more obvious? I guess the 5-second one's more obvious. Yeah. So 5-second. So we get SMT, accumulation, manipulation, 5-second change in state off of the first presented for value gap. Once again, we have to determine the drawn liquidity when using the first presented for value gap. Since the drawn liquidity was higher, we're going to use it as an inversion first presented for value gap. right? Does that make sense? Since the draw was higher and we were within that higher time frame, once again, we knew the draw was higher because the 2022 model right here, right? So because we know the draw is higher, we're going to be using this as an inversion first presented for value gap. And yep, there's manipulation right there. And yeah, my first strike model right here, right? Accumulation, liquidity sweep. And then 5-second change in state. I mean, once we get this close here, this close, I like that close. I'd probably enter on that close. And then I'd put stop loss at this low. And then you could target, once again, guys, assuming I'm perfect, which I'm not, but theoretically, like, this would be so clean. Like, because obviously it's super hard to enter. You know, it's hard to enter sometimes, especially across all your accounts, and not make a mistake, but that's why I backtest. So yeah, you can clearly see this is accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution to our drawn liquidity, which was that old high. Let's see if it was a yeah, this is our opening range high. I guess technically we're still in the opening range, but oh, man, it wasn't there was a name for the 9:30 to 10 o'clock range, I'm pretty sure. Like splooge or spleege or splodge, I don't know. Honestly, I might go on a tangent and try and figure it out. I'm actually going to go on a tangent right now and try and figure it out. Okay. But yeah, this is our opening range high. 9:30, once again, 9:30 here. Yeah, I mean 9:30, 10 o'clock's opening range, 9:30 to 10:30 is opening range. Honestly, I'll use them interchangeably. I don't really care. And that's why I don't like calling the opening range gap, because it's very confusing when you call it that, and you know, you have the opening range, which is also called opening range. It's just very confusing. So this is my first strike model, 1003. First strike, 1 minute, 5 second. Save. Okay, let's go on a tangent. I kind of want to figure out what it's called. What I'm wondering is, dang, Kiflo has 274 people watching him. Oh my gosh, poor Joe. Oh my gosh. Like, not poor Charlie, but look at how Joe's reacting, man. He does not. I mean, yeah, it's horrifying, dude. Oh my gosh. And then Dylan posted again. Okay, we gotta get to ICT mentorship here. ICT. Month 10.
Immerse yourself.
I'm sorry, guys. I have to
Hey,
go on
folks.
this tangent.
Welcome
I want to
back.
know what it's called. Oh. Spoos. Listen to this.
Is shown in Central Time, which is going to be an hour earlier. As you can see here in the chart, this is shaded in. This is the opening range, 1 hour between 9:30 and 10:30. Now, every chart that we're showing here on barchart.com is shown in Central Time, which is going to be an hour earlier. So that's why you're seeing it highlighted as 8:30 to 9:30. But in reality,
so opening range is 9:30 to 10:30.
On East Coast time, New York time in the US, it's actually referring to 9:30 to 10:30. True day beginning and true day ending. Okay, another example here. S&P 500, even the
But
S&P.
then wait. But yeah, SPOOs. The SPOOs. Anyway, opening range is also called the SPOOs. That's the name of it, the SPOOs. I don't know. I kind of like that name, right? SPOOs. And yes, I've watched all the way to month 10 of this crazy long mentorship, dude. I haven't finished it. I actually haven't finished it. I'm on month 10 out of 12. I got more work to do, man. I got more work to do. But yeah, SPOOs high, dude. 9:30, 10 o'clock, SPOOs high. Let's actually make a new template for the SPOOs. The SPOOs. So I think it's just going to be like 9:30 to 10 o'clock or 9:30 to 10:30. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Don't spoozes on me. What are you saying, bro? Yeah, the SPOOs high, bro. We target the SPOOs high. 9:30 to 10 o'clock range of price is the SPOOs. Or maybe it's the 9:30 till 10:30. I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't really matter. I like calling it that. It's kind of fire. Okay. So yeah, let's screenshot this again. I don't know if I already screenshotted this, but let's screenshot it again. Yeah. $10.03 first strike. 1 minute, 5 second. Number 2. Okay, guys, and then, well, what happens? We sweep the high again. Honestly, looks like a 15-second 2022 model. I'm not going to mark it out, but low-key, when we sweep the SPOOs high, Actually, you know what? Let's mark out a new template for SPOOs sweep. The SPOOs sweep. If people ever watch me live and I have SPOOs sweep marked out, they're gonna be like, "What the crap is the SPOOs?" And I'm just gonna not. I'm just gonna be like, "Eh, you got more studying to do, bro." I don't know. Sometimes I hate that ICT uses like overcomplicating concepts and stuff, but other times I think it's kind of fun to know words other people don't know. Sometimes it's kind of fun. Too much booze. SPOOs. Oh man, you ever trade the SPOOs with some booze? Oh man, I'm kidding. Only me and you, Kirk, and whoever else is watching this is ever gonna know what we're talking about if we ever say that again. I'm not even gonna mark that out. I'm gonna mark that out as a sweep, and then, like, it's worth marking out. I'm gonna mark it out, even though it's not super high probability, right? We swept out the SPOOs high. Once again, micro scalping, if you can be a laser precise wizard, it's insane. But once again, it requires a certain level of skill, and not every single person can be a micro scalper. The same way, like, not every good chess player can play bullet chess, right? And I will stand by it, right? I'm gonna stand by the fact micro scalping is real and it exists. That doesn't mean that everyone's gonna be able to do it, but especially because it's so hard. 'Cause you have to be able to take a disciplined trade, analyze the chart, and make the correct decision within seconds. But possible, yes. Micro scalp, bang, and I once again stop above. I probably put stop above the volume balance, and then you could target this low. This is the power of micro scalping. Am I saying that is going to be easy? No, but you know, if you can master it, it's just absurdly powerful. I'd probably target this low resistance liquidity here, because that alone is 5R. How much more do you need than 5R? That's crazy. But that is why I like microscoping, and obviously you can scale out. But once again, am I good enough to do it yet? Not necessarily. I'm not saying I am, but one day I'd like to. So yeah, external sweep, internal sweep with SMT, break of structure here. Maybe I'll title the video today The Spoos. The Spoos Explained. But I honestly don't know whether it's the 930 to 10 range or the 930 to 1030 range. Honestly, like I said, I don't think it matters. It's just same. It's the it's conceptualizing it that matters. Like that range of price is going to be, the highs and lows of it are going to have a lot of liquidity. That's what matters. It's not what the specific range of price is. No, 1009, 09, 2022 model, 15 second. But now I'm curious. Now I have to figure this out. Let's figure it out. What is spoos? I want to make a short form video about it. What is spoos? Let's write this down. What is spoos? And then probably just need to get on with you know, making the filming the market recap and stuff. But I don't know, guys. I do want to spend time recording, reviewing the market too. So it's hard to balance everything out. What is the spoos? The spoos opening range. So actually, we're gonna watch this part over because I want to get a little bit of a recap on it. What's this part?
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is
9:30 a.m. New York time and ends at 10:30 a.m. New York time. So you have an opening range of 1 hour. Okay, we're narrowing our focus to the opening range times the S&P 500 index. At the time of this day's close of this recording, as you see here on the right-hand side, it's about $122,000 leveraged. All right, spoos, or that's the slang name everyone referred to it back in the 80s or so. That's 1983 folks that are less than 30 years old. So spoos is a slang for S&P 500 trading. So spoos opening range concept. Okay, the highest volume for S&P trading is going to be seen between 9:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. New York time. So there's only a 30-minute span of time where the surge of the highest volume generally kicks off right at the opening. True day for spoos is going to be viewed as 9:30 a.m. New York time to 4 p.m. New York time. Now the market does trade 24 hours, but we're going to focus primarily on the New York session as it relates to day trading. Opening range is going to be seen with 9:30 a.m. New York time and ends at 10:30 a.m. New York time. So you have an opening range of 1 hour. Okay, we're going to be narrowing our focus to the opening range between 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., which tends to create the spoos market high or low of the day. It can be a run on stops or a fair value setup. As you can see here in the chart, this is shaded in. This is the opening range, 1 hour between 9:30 and 10:30. Now, every chart that we're showing here on barchart.com is shown in Central Time, which is going to be an hour earlier. So that's why you're seeing it highlighted as 8:30 to 9:30. But in reality, on the East Coast time, New York time in the U.S., it's actually referring to 9:30 to 10:30. True day beginning and true day ending. Okay, another example here. S&P 500, E-mini S&P, September contract 2017 is the 15-minute candlestick chart.
Spoos is 9:30 to 10:30, seeming like, but 9:30 to 10 is also important because that has the highest volume. So I think we got to make two different names. Spoos is 9:30 to 10:30. The spoos opening range is 9:30 to 10:30, and then we got to make a new name for 9:30 to 10. And then let's just keep watching it for a little bit longer.
And we're delineate the opening range, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. New York time. You see the volume is the highest during that portion of the day. And we have our opening range here. And we can look at the opening range. See that we turn back inside of the previous up-close candle or bearish order block. And then later on, we can see price trading up to a reference point inside the opening range as well for a later transaction for a short. One more example. Okay, we're looking at the evening S&P September contract. This is a 5-minute chart on a different day. We're delineating the same thing. The 8:30 to 9:30 on the bar chart is the same thing as 9:30 to 10:30 New York time. So there's our opening range.
Okay, so I'm just gonna call the SPOOs 9:30 to 10:30, and then one half of the SPOOs. One half SPOOs 9:30 to 10. I know that's not like very technical of me, but I don't know. No one else is telling me what to call it, so I'm gonna have to make something up. Alright, no one's telling me what to call it, so I'm gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna have to take ICT's content, figure it out to the best of my ability, and then fill in the gaps. Because once again, guys, sometimes people don't explain things to me, so sometimes you just have to name things yourself. Because I don't know what to call the range between 9:30 and 10. That is the highest volume of the day, but it's important, right? So I'm gonna call it the half SPOOs, and then I'm gonna call the regular SPOOs 9:30 to 10:30. I have to use the bathroom again. I don't know, guys. Don't make fun of me. I'll be right back. Alright. SPOOs is slang for ES. Oh, wait, it's only on ES? What? So I can't call it SPOOs on NQ? That's dumb. I like that name. Oh my gosh. I like that name. So I have to call it opening range. Whatever, man. I don't know. I'm gonna just figure it out over time. It's not a big deal. It's only on ES. I don't know. Maybe I won't make a video about SPOOs yet. Anyway, I just wrote it in my notes, so yeah, SPOOs. Honestly, personally, I'm just gonna call anything from 9:30 to 10 SPOOs, and then anything from 9:30 to 10:30 also SPOOs. And I don't care what asset it's on. I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna ask for permission. I'm just gonna do it. All right. So. Yeah, then we run down to the consolidation low. Like sometimes you can call it snooze. Nah, bro, I'm gonna call it SPOOs. What's ICT gonna do? Come to my house and say technically it's only on ES that you can do SPOOs, bro? I'm gonna slap your face off, bro. Who cares? I'm calling it SPOOs. I'm calling a spooze. Too late, dude. Too late. The concept's already on the internet. I'm calling the freaking thing spooze, dude. 9:30 to 10 or 9:30 to 10:30. I'm calling both spooze. They're both spooze. They're the spooze opening range. I don't care. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I can call things anything I want. Like technically, who cares? You know, technically, I don't care what to call it. You can call it what you want. I'll call it what I want. What matters is the concept. Does it work? Yes. So I don't care what I call it. I'm gonna call it spooze. It's how anything gets used is, you know, by it being decided that it's gonna be used. Okay. Yeah, guys. Past that, we get a woman that changes state here. This looks nice. I think Hyper took this. Let me go higher. And then yeah, I don't know what else to look at in the afternoon. I guess this is actually maybe a 2022 model again to the down. It's crazy how we just kept reversing buy side and then sell side and then buy side and then sell side. Did we end up going to the data high at that point? We end up going to the end of this range. So that was the next draw on liquidity. Then essentially we got a 1 minute change in state here. Maybe a 30-second change in state. Check out that volume balance, by the way. I just love how precise these markets are. Look at that volume balance. Wow. Yeah, I might just call this an implied 5-minute BPR. Yeah, and then after that we get 30-second change in state here. This is cool. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of cool. So the next draw on liquidity is this high. Next draw on liquidity is that high. We have a volume imbalance here. Five-minute volume imbalance. And market respects that. Also respects this 5-minute BPR. Note how we sweep liquidity here. So liquidity sweep. Here's a change in state on the 30-second. And then you got this whole range. Accumulation. Once again, this might have been a... Yeah, look. This is a 15-minute candle range. That's so fast. It might even be a 5-minute. It's a 5-minute CRT. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is a 5-minute CRT. Just pay attention to the time, right? So this is a 5-minute candle right here. Two 5-minute candles together. So 2 5-minute candles. And then we get another 5-minute candle. then we have another two 5-minute candles. Crazy how the CRT plays out like that. I'll probably film the market recap soon. I'm probably going to end the stream, then take a break, and then film the market recap. And then, interesting. Anyway, I'm actually just going to mark this out as accumulation. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. Accumulation. Accumulation, manipulation. I just love the volume imbalance. Look at that. And then, once again, guys, Jake trades at sniper entry right there at the volume imbalance. They tag team price here. The sniper model entry and the volume imbalance tag team price. Like LeBron James and whoever's on LeBron James' team that's also a GOAT, assisting each other and getting a dunk in basketball. That's what this is. That's what this is. This is the ultimate like tag team right here. The dynamic duo. 5-minute change in state, or no, 30-second change in state off a 5-minute implied BPR. We backtest the sniper model entry with the 5-minute volume bounce, and then wow, the rest was history, guys. The rest was history. And we go to our draw on liquidity. Now, once again, since that's the draw on liquidity, that's where I would take profit. Yeah, kind of cool. I always just like to mark things up. I think it's kind of cool. But yeah. Okay, let's screenshot that. I think Hyper said that it was just a 1-minute change in state and then a retracement to an order block. So maybe we should mark that out. Because I don't know if this is that realistic of a trade. 10.25. It's not that realistic of a trade, I'm going to be honest. It's not lipo, but I would probably almost never see it in the moment. But I just wanted to mark it out because I saw it. But I think one that I would see in the moment is the one that Hyper took, which is that you simply just say, okay, we're delivering from a gap, and then we just get change in state here. We get change in state. I don't know what's going on with that candle, but I mean this is still change in state. So 1-minute change in state, and then basically the way I would consider taking this is just wait for change in state and then take a Jan entry at the order block. So once again, OB. So 1-minute change state, and this is what Hyper was telling me, is that he just entered at the OB after we got the change in state. And I don't know if that's the right one to mark out, but still. So Jan entry right here. So CISD-J. The first time I've actually ever marked this out before, CISD-J, but I'm going to start doing it because it makes sense to me, right? We got the change in state. Now we are looking for a more precise entry on a retrace. I don't know. The change state's not obvious, but I'm just going off of what I saw from Hyper. So anyway, I'm gonna screenshot it anyways here. Um, 1028 COSD-J 1 minute. But notice the time this occurs as well. 1020 to 1040. Guys, how could it be that the 1020 1040 macro is not real? How could it be? I actually really like I like this change in state as well, and I kind of like this a little more. I kind of like this a little more. I like this more actually. It's a lot more obvious, a lot more realistic of a trade, right? Accumulation, manipulation. Then we have the 1020 to 1040 Hydra macro. Yeah, bro. Hydra macros aren't real? Okay. Suit yourself, bro. I'm gonna do me, you do you. Because I like them. So 1031. No. Okay, I think I'm gonna be done. I think I backtested New York pretty thoroughly. It wasn't perfect, but I'm just gonna take a break, be done, and then film the market recap. Maybe check Twitter a little bit, see if anyone else took anything interesting. But I might go on Discord here. Let's look at Discord and see if anyone said anything. Yeah. I never actually opened that. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end the stream here, and I'll probably film the market recap in just a bit. Maybe I'll do a little bit more backtesting on my own, but I'm probably gonna end it here. Let's see if anyone's watching the stream. Yeah. Yeah, 2 watching. Alright, guys. I'm going to probably end things here. So I can just move on with my day and film and then get to bed and maybe edit the short form video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Man, I have a headache. Peace out, guys.